Good morning and welcome to day 12, the final day of the Christmas season, and day 12 of our Christmas Moment videos, coming to you from Ascension Lutheran Church in Citrus Heights. I'm Pastor Scott, and I'm coming to you for my study this morning because I'm tired. 12 days, 12 videos takes its toll. Today we finish the story. We finish the story that we've been telling of Jesus' birth and his time thereafter, the wise men coming from the east, Jesus fleeing with his family to Egypt, Herod putting out the decree that all children under the age of 2 around Bethlehem would need to be killed. And we find ourselves in verse 19 of chapter 2 of Matthew. We read that when Herod died, an angel of the Lord suddenly appeared in a dream to Joseph of Egypt and said, "Get up, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who were seeking the child's death are dead." Good news for Jesus, good news for Joseph. I've got to imagine this journey felt much different than when they were fleeing Bethlehem to go to Egypt because of fear of Herod. And now they are permitted to return home. Permitted to return home to Nazareth, where Mary and Joseph will raise Jesus. We don't know much about Jesus' childhood. We read in Luke that on one occasion when Jesus was 12, that when they went to the temple for the festival of Passover, when they set out to head back home, that Jesus had stayed behind. Sort of his own version, or maybe the original version of Home Alone. You know, another Christmas movie that I try to make sure I see every Christmas season. Unlike Kevin, who stayed home and fended for himself and had to fight off would-be intruders, Jesus stayed in the temple and he listened to the teachers and he asked them questions. And when his mother and father returned to fetch him, he asked incredulously, "Where did you think I'd be?" "Of course, I'm in my Father's house." We don't know much else about Jesus' upbringing, but I got to imagine it was a challenge to raise the Son of God, especially for Joseph. This man who was engaged to be married to this young girl, Mary, who then finds out she's pregnant by immaculate conception, who stays with her throughout her pregnancy, who takes her to Bethlehem during the time of the census to be counted, who watches his wife give birth in a stable, in the most humble of places, who is told in the middle of the night that in a dream that they need to flee that area, that land, and go to Egypt to be safe, and who then, once in Egypt, gets another vision, another dream, word again from God that it's time to return home. It couldn't have been easy being Joseph, not knowing where this journey would lead, uncertain of where they might end up, certainly having no idea that this child that he raised would later become crucified for your sake and for mine. Sometimes that's the way life is. We don't know what's going to come next. We don't know what's around the next corner. Sometimes that's just the way it is. But Joseph trusted God. And God was faithful to Joseph, and Joseph was faithful to God, and God brought him through those challenges. Certainly that didn't make them easy, but God was faithful to him and helped bring him to where he needed to be. And that same God is the God that we've been reading about in the Old Testament this fall, is the same God who continues to interact with creation today, who wants to be there, guiding, prompting you in your life, through the challenges you face, through the good times and the bad times. A faithful God who loves you and wants to be loved by you. As we finish these Christmas videos, these moments of Christmas, I pray that you might continue this habit that you've begun to develop, spending time each day hearing God's word read, reflecting upon it. Maybe even reading the Bible yourself and using a devotional, or thinking and praying yourself about what that text has said and what it might mean for you in the future. Tomorrow night here at Ascension, we will be having an Epiphany worship service, a potluck actually, an international potluck that really reminds us that when Jesus came, it wasn't just for the people in Judea, but for all people. And so on Epiphany, we remember that the wise men appeared at the manger, as we've read during these days. And we will celebrate the good news that Jesus came into the world for all of the world. No matter where we are from, no matter where we live, Jesus came for you. And he came as light. And we'll begin the season of Epiphany, which is a season of light, which reminds us that Christ is the light of the world, and the darkness does not overcome that light. He is ever present, ever guiding. Within driving distance and would like to join us for worship tomorrow night on Friday, January 6th, we'll meet at 6 o'clock for that potluck, with worship following around those same tables where we've had dinner together. Being on this journey with you, and I look forward to seeing you along the way. Take care.